In an unprecedented exercise of executive powers, America witnessed a startling exchange of pardons between former President Trump and President Biden, transforming the January 6th Capitol riot aftermath into a political chess match. On January 6, 2021, chaos erupted as rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol, aiming to disrupt the certification of Joe Biden's presidential victory. The nation was jolted by images of broken barricades and fleeing lawmakers. In the aftermath, disgust over the incident united Americans. But today, that unity stands fractured. Take a look at these images. January 6 defendants Gregory, Edward, and Robert celebrating their release with friends and well-wishers outside the D.C. Central Detention Facility, where they were incarcerated for the 2021 attack on the Capitol in Washington, D.C.
We stood up against a stolen election. We will be vindicated in the pages of history as patriots and freedom fighters, as peaceful men and women that were first attacked and then defended. And we did not run when it would have been easy to run. We stood on all grounds of the people's house.
Thank you so much for fighting for this country, for loving this country, and for putting all the issues and problems that we need to solve before yourself.
Hours and into his second term, Trump issued sweeping pardons to over 1,500 Capitol rioters, including individuals convicted of assaulting law enforcement officials. Calling them hostages of a political witch hunt, Trump ordered the dismissal of all pending cases against them. Meanwhile, Biden, in one of his last acts as president, granted pardons to Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, and members of the committee that investigated the January 6th riots. Biden asserts his move is a safeguard against potential revenge politics under Trump. For many Americans, the dueling pardons undermine the gravity of the January 6th incidents, reducing them to a political game. For years and 4 years, all that remains of the facts of that eventful day are thousands of hours of footage, eyewitnesses, testimonies, but no accountability. There's no longer consensus on the fundamental facts of January 6, 2021. As pardons and counter-pardons fly, the question that is looming large is what really happened on Capitol Hill, the very heart of the world's oldest democracy. Our correspondent Susan Tehran is now joining us live from New York. Hi, Susan. Good to see you. What is the sense Americans have over the pardons and the counter-pardons over January 6th? Because I'm pretty sure the reactions are dense.
So President Trump ran on pardoning these January 6th rioters, and he won overwhelmingly. So the American people knew what they were in for. And it's also important to say that most Americans are really over the January 6th hysteria, whether it's the pardons or that kind of, the hearing and the committee that took place during the Biden administration, mostly because there was no evidence of insurrection. And that was one of the reasons why Donald Trump was never convicted or for anything regarding insurrection, because it just simply was not an insurrection. It was a riot. I also want to say that, both parties really use pardons and communications as a political tool, which most Americans really don't agree with, don't like. Take President Biden as he was leaving. I know you mentioned Anthony Fauci and a number of other people, but he commuted the death row sentences of almost every single federal inmate, including 2 people that killed FBI officers, which Christopher Wray, the FBI director, came out and said that it was completely unjustified. So, it's something that people have opinions about, but nonetheless, both sides use it.
They knew it was coming.
Yeah.
All right. Susan Tehrani, thank you. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.